Whether you call it a cottage, a camp, or a condo, do you have a vacation property that you're excited to pass on to the next generation? Maybe it's one that's been in your family for several generations, or maybe you were the one who acquired it. Whichever the case, there are some things that you really want to give some thought to before you pass it along. One of the things you want to figure out is who actually wants to use it. So let's say you have 3 kids and one of them loves it. It's their special place and they have lots of memories. Another one of your kids really likes it, but they're not quite as attached. And then maybe you have a third child who really doesn't have any attachment to it at all. These are good things to figure out. And then when we talk about who's going to use it, you also want to think about who can afford this property. Sometimes it's not the people who want to use it. You have to think about things, not just about taxes, but about maintenance, about renovations in the future. And you may want to make some plans to have some money set aside to take care of those things if you're able to do that. Okay, so you figured out who's going to use it and you figured out who's able to afford it. Now, who gets to make decisions? Is it the whole group? Is it you have one child who is the decision maker? And I'm thinking about things like changes in rights of use, or there's a renovation somebody wants to do. So you have to have a way to make decisions in future generations. Now, while we're talking about future generations, here's another thing to think about. What's working great in your generation and may work well in the next generation may not be so easy another generation down because it gets more complicated. So remember, I'm thinking maybe you have 3 kids. Well, what if each of those kids goes on and has kids of their own? So maybe one has 2, one has 1, one has 3. Now you have to figure out in the next generation about 6 people sharing this property. You can see where the complications come in. I actually know a family where it's gone down so many generations that they have something like 20 people sharing the use of a cottage. Doesn't give anybody a lot of time there. So these are the things that people don't think about when they're passing along this property that probably has great significance to you and likely to your family as well. Another thing you want to think about based on what we're saying is how will conflicts be resolved? It's a good idea to think about that before there actually is a conflict. And then you want to make sure that you formalize an agreement so that everybody's on the same page. Now, in order to do that, here's the way you can do it. First of all, you'll need to step back, do some thinking about what you want, then do some planning, and then, of course, you're going to have some conversations. I call these essential conversations, talking to the most important people about the most important things in our lives. And this is an essential conversation. I hope you and your family enjoy the use of your vacation property for generations to come. And I know these essential conversations will help you do it.